I'm Gabby Santo with Danny Parker at Neyland Stadium, where the Vols took their second win of the season tonight, 42-7. I think they like that number 42 because I'm pretty sure that's what they scored last game too. We saw a couple of big things tonight. Definitely the mood in the room at the post game presser. Butch definitely seemed like he has a lot of things that he's wanting to clean up before the Vols head to Gainesville. Can you just speak a little bit about what the Vols need to clean up, both on the offensive side of the ball and the defensive side of the ball, based on what you heard Butch say tonight at the presser?
Well, definitely, Gabby, starting out defensively, I think Tennessee's going to have to start generating more takeaways. Didn't do that against an Indiana State team. Didn't really do that against Georgia Tech either. It's something that when you get an SEC play, you're going to have to create fumbles, cause interceptions, things like that. They did have some fumbles against Georgia Tech, but you would expect an FCS team coming in, Tennessee, to have a lot of takeaways. Didn't really get that done. I thought the tackling was improved against Indiana State over what they saw against Georgia Tech. Obviously, that level of athlete is, a notch or two below, so that was a factor as well. But there's a lot of strides the defense needs to make before Tennessee heads down to Florida.
Yeah, and tonight we got to see a lot of new faces out there. Jarrett Garantano, I know a lot of people wanted to see him. A number of guys actually took, their red shirt was burned tonight. We learned a couple of things as well about guys that are going to be playing this year and ones who aren't injury-wise. And like I mentioned before, red shirt-wise. Can you just kind of talk about that a little bit, guys who we're going to be seeing a lot more of this year?
Yeah, well, first of all, some guys we're probably not going to see. We said earlier this week, if a guy was dressed and played today, obviously that would burn his red shirt, and this would probably be the best chance to get some of those guys in, knowing that Tennessee would want to depend on certain guys later in the year. This would be a great chance to kind of get their identity on film, like Butch likes to say. Several kids that weren't dressed. Ryan Thaxton, a defensive end, Eric Crosby, a defensive tackle, Princeton Fant, a wide receiver, probably about 6 or 7 guys that we expected to, we were kind of curious about whether or not they would play it. Right now it looks like some of those kids won't play this year, but some red shirts did come off, like you said. Matthew Butler helped out with Shaq Wiggins on a tackle late in the game. Will Ignat had his first ever collegiate tackle. Ryan Johnson, a redshirt freshman, got in about a series or two late in the fourth quarter. So a lot of guys that hadn't played yet really got a chance to get on the field, and probably the biggest name being Jarrett Garantano, young man that, Coach Jones had said earlier in the week that he definitely was going to get Jarrett some snaps against Indiana State in relief of Quentin. We saw Jarrett get in the first quarter, the last snap of the first quarter, and get several series in the first half.
And another player who had a big – it wasn't his debut. He played this past Monday, but I think Ty Chandler, that was really cool to see him start off the game, first play, take it straight home. That was really great to see a freshman do something like that.
Tim Jordan, Trey Coleman, 2 other freshman running backs that played. Tennessee played 5 running backs against Indiana State, and Butch Jones said he was going to play all 3 freshman backs early in the summer in training camp, and I wonder if they were going to do that. I wonder if they would hold one of those kids off for next year, but all 5 played, so all 5 red shirts are burned for those guys.
Yeah, I was having a little trouble keeping up with the running backs, to be honest, because I kept swapping them out. But thank you so much for watching, and we'll keep you all updated with everything leading up to Florida on Saturday. Thank you so much. I'm Gabby Santa for Danny Parker.